All right, looks good.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna grab this. What do you want to start out by talking about? Just okay.
You ask the questions and
all
I'll
Sounds
answer
good.
the best I can.
All right, so I'll start at the start of your life. Where were you born and?
Okay, Grand Rapids, Michigan, 1947, September.
Yep.
13.
And what was it like growing up?
Had it rough when I was a kid. I never played sports because I had to work to help support the family. My dad had a drinking problem, so
Yeah.
I missed out on all the sports, you know.
Was he around or no?
He was around, and then, you know, he was in and out all the time, you know. So that was tough as a kid, growing up. All your friends off playing sports, and I had to work. You know, I had lawn jobs. I remember cleaning a house for a lady. She had me scrubbing her walls.
Yeah.
It was tough, but I did it, you know, to help the family out. So, and then, like when I got to high school, and that was when I was about 11.
Yeah.
I started working. And when I got to high school, I was put on co-op program. I don't know if you guys have that or not.
I don't know. I'm
It's
not
a
sure.
work program. You go to school half a day and then go to work the other half and get credit for that. So I worked construction for a company. It was called William Devries and Sons Construction. So I did that all through high school. And then I wanted to go to college, and then that's when I got my draft papers. Because back then you got drafted. And you had to register when you were 18. And
So you got the draft papers after you graduated high school?
yeah, right after I graduated, that summer.
Yep.
Okay. So then, you know, you had to go to Detroit for a physical and all that, and basically you knew where you're going. You're going off to Vietnam, because it was a bad time. 67, 68 was really bad. And then, so I was drafted with 6 of my buddies. We all went off to basic training. That was September 7, 1967.
Were you in basic training together?
Yeah, we all trained at Fort Knox, Kentucky. You know, that was 8 to 9 week training.
Yeah.
Then we got shipped off to advanced infantry training. And that was in Fort McClellan, Alabama. So we did that training. Then we got a 30-day pass to go home, celebrate with family and friends. And then we were off to Vietnam. You know, and that was just horrible knowing where you're going.
Yeah. What was your training like? Like, tell me a little bit about that. Was it tough? What kind of things did they have you do?
Yeah, the training was by sergeants that were in the war. So they would prepare you how to deal with the enemy over there.
Because they knew what was going on.
So you learned about their spider holes, how they jumped out and sniped you, and their booby traps, they said. And so they tried to prepare you as best as possible. So it was something you really wanted to pay attention about.
Yeah.
And then you know how to shoot.
Just the basics of
Living in the
stuff.
elements overnight, swampy situations.
Was there anything in particular that they had you do that you remember? Like maybe spending a few nights out in the woods without any food?
Yeah,
or
you
anything
did a
crazy?
3-day overnight stay out in the woods. And they drop you off and you got to find your way back with a compass and all that. So it was good, helpful training. And then the physical training, you know, your little hand-on-hand combat training. So they covered everything for you. And then it was time to go to Vietnam. That was a bad experience.
So you had the 30 days with your family and stuff, right?
Yes.
And then what happened after that?
Well, then we were all shipped out to Vietnam, and when we got to Vietnam together, they separated us all. And because of the way they did that is because they didn't want to see your buddy get shot or killed.
So how were you separated? Just by like age, or they knew who your friends were, so they separated you up?
Well, they knew you're from, like, let's say the 6th was from Michigan.
Yep.
So then they separate you to different units.
Mhm.
I was sent off to the 1st Air Cav. It was air cavalry. They used helicopters to ship you into wherever there was problems, they would ship you to it. So that was basically our duty. It was called like search and destroy missions.
Mhm.
It was going after the enemy. So it was very hard.
What made it so tough? Just finding them, or?
Yeah, you know, you were in their backyard in the jungle, and you just couldn't see them. And it was nothing like the training. It was just because they could hide booby traps, and there was nothing worse than seeing your friends get blown up or wounded or getting killed.
Mhm.
So that was hard to live with.
Yeah. What do you mean it was different than the training? Like now it's like real life, so now it's actually happening?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You have real bullets shooting at you
Mhm.
instead of blanks. You know, real grenades going off and booby traps, and yeah.
Was there a specific mission that really stood out to you that you remember, or anything in specific?
Yeah, it was all bad. They called us grunts, you know, they had no easy mission. It was just going out on every mission, and you'd go out for maybe 30 days at a time, and so you're in the jungle that long, and it made you really appreciate what you had home. You don't realize until it's taken away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you live off sea rations, there's a little food in a box, and you always had to be on the alert. You just didn't, you never knew where they were. You just couldn't see them. So it was tough, you know, for any young man to live through that and go through that. And then when we did get breaks, it was like a 3-day break. You had to go back and fill sandbags.
Yeah.
But you know, it was better. Doing that was like a relief, that knowing you're not going to get shot at, and to live another day to tell about it. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it was no easy job for them, for us.
Yeah. So you said that you got breaks for 3 days, right?
Yeah, usually a 3-day period. After 30 day, you're out in the jungle, and you come on, or, you know, maybe you had a search and destroy mission through a village, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking for the VC, or, you know, and that's Viet Cong, and the NVA was a more advanced soldier.
Yeah.
And they had like tunnels in the jungle, you know, and they tunneled through, and the bad thing is they'd pop up and make an ambush on you, and then they'd disappear, go through the tunnels. And
so you were ambushed a few times?
yeah, we were ambushed a lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was very hard to see your buddies get blown up and wounded. And I was like wounded twice. The first time I turned down my Purple Heart because I didn't want my family or friends to worry.
What was that from again?
A shrapnel, a piece of shrapnel, like a Chicon grenade.
Yeah.
There was like 8 of us walked over it, and the 9th guy hit it, and I caught it in the leg, and he lost his arm. But he did survive, so that was a major thing.
Yeah, that was good. So what happened after you got that? Was there like hospital, like army hospitals, or what happened?
Well, mine I basically pulled out with a pair of tweezers, and then he got shipped out in a medevac. You call in a medevac, and but we first stopped his bleeding and, you know, comforted him, and then we called in a helicopter. They shipped him to a hospital, and that's the last time you see him.
Yeah.
And that was a sad thing, because you don't know what happened to him. You know, did he get shipped home, or, you know?
Yeah, like what happened?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you said you got injured a second time. What happened there?
That was also shrapnel. Nothing serious, but I did take my Purple Heart on that one. And I regret not getting that first Purple Heart too today.
Yeah. But
yeah, it's just, nothing serious. Where mine was minor, where the other soldiers, when they lost limbs or they died, you know, that was tragic. And I lost my best friend. And his name was Mackie. I've got a picture of him there. So I have several pictures for you. You can share with your classmates.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about what happened when you lost your best friend, or no?
You know, I think I'm going to pass.
All right, yep, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, so when you were on your breaks and stuff, did you get to write home to your family? Or did you like write letters, get letters from them, or were you able to communicate back home?
Yeah, you know, any chance we had, we would write a letter. And you know, it was nice, you could put free on the envelope and ship it off, you know. And it took about a week or two before they'd receive it. And the same with them, you know, my mom was great about sending me little care packages.
Yeah.
Throw in some licorice or whatever, and you'd get that care package and you were in heaven.
Yeah.
You know, you'd share it with your buddies, and they do the same when they got one. And you live for that mail to come on that helicopter out in that field, because that's all you had to look forward to, you know. And so that was a real gift.
So after you got your Purple Heart, then were you shipped back home, or what happened?
No, the second time I was sent to Fubai Hospital to take out, I got a little shrapnel by the eye, so I almost lost my eye. So they, you know, basically take it out there. And then, but they did get a little infected, so I had to stay a couple extra days. And that's when I wrote my poem.
Yeah, do you want to read that?
Yeah, what I'll do is give you this poem. I know it by heart.
All right. Perfect. Do you want me to read it out loud, or do you want...
No,
Okay, sounds good.
I'll tell your students.
All right.
Take a man and put him alone, put him about 12,000 miles away from home. Empty his heart of all but blood and make him live in sweat and all this mud. This isn't a life in which I have to live, but why my soul to the devil you give. You peace boys rant from your easy chair, not knowing what it's like over here. You march at dawn, plant your signs on the White House lawn. I'll hate you till the day I die, which may be in a little while. You made me see my buddy cry. I seen his arm a bloody shred. I heard them say, this one's dead. It was quite a price he had to pay not to live another day. But he had the guts to fight and die. But what did he buy? I'll tell you what he bought. He bought your life by losing his. But who gives a damn what a soldier gives? His wife does, and maybe his sons and daughters. But please, Lord, tell me, are they the only ones? Amen.
That's beautiful.
That was just how I felt at that time, because we had a lot of protesting going on.
Yeah.
You know, the guys that went overseas to fight, you know, they didn't have a choice. You know, you go, you got drafted, or else you go to prison. You know, there was no choice.
Yeah.
That's like you young people today, you know, you really haven't made. You want to graduate from high school, you pick a college, or you pick a job. You know, you don't have to stress about going to war. And I'd like to say, man, just there's nothing like family and friends. Love your family and friends, because if you don't have that, you don't have nothing. You can have all the money in the world, and it just doesn't mean nothing if you don't have anybody to share it with. You know what I mean? So I never take a day of my life for granted, because I did a lot of praying to make it out of Vietnam. And then you go through this guilt complex, survivor's guilt for why did I make it and why all my friends died. So you have to get through that. I still have nightmares. But what helped me, as soon as I got out of the service, I went to college on the GI Bill. And then I went to JC 2 years. I got my associates, and then I went to Grand Valley, got my Bachelor of Science, and went into teaching of phys ed, pushing health on kids. And I just loved that job. It was one of the best jobs. Just so much fun dealing with young people, you know, like yourself, man. You're great.
Thank you.
And then, so now I'm retired, Now I travel the country playing racquetball. Just enjoy every day you can. I feel fortunate to be with your family. Love you guys. I have the most wonderful woman I share my life with. As a matter of fact, like when I have nightmares still, like I have to walk through the house, make sure I'm safe, because you go back to that, you can go back to an incident that really occurred in your dreams, and then you wake up, and I've got a nice woman that say, hey, you're okay, you're safe. And I'll walk through the house and, hey, I got walls around me, I am safe, I'm home, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So stuff like that, and yeah, you just gotta appreciate you have good health. You know, if you're ever feeling down, I always think about the poor guy in the wheelchair that's paralyzed, or the person that can't see, you know, you think, hey, I don't have it so bad, you know. So, that's how I live my life every day. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
What else you have for me, Daniel?
You kind of covered it. I was going to say, is there any other positives do you think that like came out, because you said you still have nightmares and all that? What do you think you learned from them, other than to be like grateful for every day, to be thankful for what you have? Anything else, or?
Yeah, I pretty much covered it all. You know, like, I have friends all over the country by playing this racquetball. And then, you know, I play the age group.
Yep.
So you maintain friends all over the country, and that's just so nice. And now with texting and Skyping, and like when I went to college, I was lucky to have a calculator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys have it made today.
Yeah.
Which is great. You know, that's progress. But yeah, and now, you know, I dabble in real estate, just for a hobby. Buy a house, fix it, sell it, rent it. And I enjoy that, you know, I give a chance for young people to get them into a house at a lower price than a bank.
Yeah.
So anything else, Daniel?
Do you want to talk about like what rank and everything you were, and how you were a squad leader?
Yeah, I worked myself up to be a squad leader.
How'd you do that?
Just the time in the field. And when you go in country, you learn from the people that were there. That's how you really learn.
Yeah.
It has time in the field. So I started out as an RTO, that's a radio operator for this sergeant. And he was really a gun-hole sergeant. He was after all these medals. So I learned a lot from this guy. And then, but I realized he was a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get away from him. I didn't want to get killed, you know. So, so I took that knowledge and learned, and then they made me a squad leader from that. So I tried to keep my men safe, and you worked as a team. There was no race. Everybody got along as brothers. You're all brothers over there. As a matter of fact, I have a close Vietnam friend that's home. He lives in Nunica.
Yeah.
And we still are in touch. We'll hunt together, get together a couple times a year. But I lost a lot of friends. That was tough to see. And, you know, there were 6 of us who were drafted, and only 2 of us came home. So that was real hard.
Yeah.
And then nowadays, a lot of them are dying off with cancer, the Agent Orange that was over there. And that's really hard to see. I had to bury a friend last year. He was healthy, and then I watched him shrivel down to nothing. He had pancreatic cancer. So that's why you have to enjoy every day. Yeah.
All right, when you said you guys were like brothers over there, was there any racism or like anything like that, or is it just different overseas when you're, or how would you describe that?
Yeah, there was no racism. Everybody got along. You always watch each other's back.
Yeah.
You know? And so, you know, I've got some pictures of that you can share with your classmates. I'm here with my brothers, black, white, Mexican. We're all together. It didn't matter.
And then, what did you guys do for fun when you were over there? Did you do anything other than combat,
Yeah, you know, when
fill
we
sand?
came back and did the sandbag thing,
Yep.
we'd play cards at night. And, you know, then at night you had to do a watch. You know,
Yep.
we had a 4-hour watch each guy, and
Mhm.
you know, 3 to 4 hours, and then there was a lot of goofing off. There was a lot of marijuana at the time. And I hated smoke, so I couldn't handle the smoke going down, so I never smoked. But I tried it once. I got a little high and buzzed, you know, and I thought, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
But,
Well, that's a good thing.
yeah. And then, you know, you could get some alcohol. I wasn't much of a drinker. One drink and I'd be sloshed, you know, so that's why I don't drink today. But a lot of goofing off, you know.
Yep.
I practiced some martial arts with this one Vietnamese kid. I took martial arts when I was in high school, you know. And I'd go to work, and then after hours I'd go to this class. My mom never knew about it, so I was into martial arts and judo.
Yeah.
So then when I met this Vietnamese kid over there, he was one of our interpreters. So we would spar for everybody. And, you know, you didn't hit each other, you'd pull your punches, you know.
Yeah.
But it was fun. So that gives you something to look forward to. And then talking about home was huge.
Yeah.
Reading each other's letters. It was sad a lot of guys got Dear John letters, you know.
Yeah.
Breakups from their ladies. And I even received one of them, but it was probably a good thing. You know what I mean? But we're still friends today, so that means a lot.
That's good.
Yeah, then now life is just wonderful. Just, what else can I say about it? What else you have, Daniel?
Did you receive any specialized training? Like, what would you say your jobs were when you were over there, and any like specific jobs that you'd have? Like you said, radio something.
Yeah, your RTO radio, that's where you're talking to the other squads or the command post, and so you learn about the radio talk.
Yep.
So, and you learn about all the different weapons you have out there. You learn how to read a map, where you're going. You know, it'd say so many clicks here, so you knew where to go. And north, south, you had a compass to read and all that. So, yeah, you learned about everything the best you could, you know. We were young, man. We were 19. We were just kids turned into men overnight. That's basic, bottom line. So that's why you want to enjoy your childhood and every day you live, Daniel. I mean, what else you have?
How would you say your wartime affected you, or wartime experience affected you after you returned home?
There's a lot of protests going on. As soon as I got home, it was like I got that uniform off right away. And I grew long hair, shoulder level, went off to college. You know, and I never went to the Vietnam vets meetings or anything. I just wanted to forget about Vietnam. The only thing you couldn't forget about your friends, you know, but you wanted to forget the war. But the college really helped. You know, you had to buckle down, study. And then, you know, I just wanted to be a teacher really bad. And that's what I did. But you know, at one point I was thinking about being a pilot. So I went off and took some private pilot lessons. So I was doing both at one time, but I couldn't afford both. You know, I was getting the GI Bill. So I decided, you know, I'm going to become a teacher. So that's where the course I took. And hours I did fly, I can still fly today and use those hours. So
yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah. So it was a great experience.
Yeah. If there was one like tip of advice or one thing that you learned from the war, like in specific, what would you say that'd be?
Don't go.
In the military?
yeah, you know, it's hard to say. Nowadays, you know, you got a different war. You know, you're fighting for a better cause. But back then, Vietnam was a huge mistake. So.
Would you say you regret being drafted into the military? Like, if you could have a do-over?
I wouldn't have gone, probably, Daniel. Yeah, that was tough. You know, like I said, you didn't have a choice. But now, today, you have a choice. So, I wouldn't have gone. But, you know, I grew from it. And I was lucky that one of the fortunate ones that came home. So I was blessed that way.
Yeah.
I felt like God had a purpose for me, and that was pushing health on kids. And yeah, it was tough times. It was tough to lose your friends.
Yeah.
And then you say, why? You know, why'd they have to die? You know. So that was real hard. What else you have, Dan?
I think that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
This guy deserves an A. Give him an A. Okay? Thanks for talking. I mean...
All right, thank you, Daniel. Thank you for your service.
Yeah,
thank
you bet, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, I think that went well. Didn't you?
Yeah.